If you want to build the most amount of muscle in the least amount of time possible, the exercises that are going to provide the best ROI on your time must be the focus of your training. Think of your pecs as a house, your triceps as a shed, and the workers as the muscles you're recruiting to do the work. Performing isolation exercises, for example bicep curls and tricep pushdowns, is like hiring 10 workers to build the house and telling 8 of them to work on the shed. Sure, you may eventually end up with a nice shed, but the house will never get done. Now imagine if you hired 100 workers to build the house and then told 20 of them to build the shed. Both jobs would get done faster. Focusing your efforts on the big four is like hiring 100 workers instead of 10. Are you ready to build your dream home, aka upper body? Let's jump into the what, why, and how of these 4 mass builders, the movements that, if done correctly, will not just pack slabs of muscle onto your upper body, but will result in brute strength and stronger, more resilient joints that improve health and longevity. Simply put. But these exercises will make you a complete juggernaut. Horizontal push. Anytime you are pushing a load straight out in front of your torso was horizontal, your primary mover will be the chest, while the shoulders and triceps simply assist with the lift. Getting stronger at a compound lift that allows us to load this function will be the key to developing the main show muscle, the pecs. Not only that, but pushing heavy weight will always involve elbow extension, the main function of the triceps to a great degree, making horizontal pushing fundamental for arm development. If I had to choose one horizontal push exercise, it would be the flat barbell bench press. Now a few things you want to avoid on the bench press are as follows. Failing to bring the bar all the way down to your chest, raising your ass off the bench. Flaring your elbows out and allowing your shoulders to shrug or roll forward at the top. If you're not familiar with the movement and try to jump right into heavy weight, you're going to get injured. 9 times out of 10, improper bench press technique leads to damaged shoulders, which can take a great deal of time to heal. Bench press with proper form on the other hand, and you'll preserve your shoulders while growing your upper body bigger and stronger. For the bench press, you'll want to keep your chest up, elbows tucked, and shoulder blades back and down. Drive your legs against the floor to transfer force up through the hips and back, which increases pushing force. Maintain your 3 points of contact, but an upper back should never leave the bench, while the legs should stay planted firmly on the floor. Although you may see everyone else doing it, never allow the bar to bounce off your chest. Always lower the bar under control. Stay tight and then simply drive up once the bar touches your chest. Vertical push. This movement involves pushing a weight vertically from your torso. By performing a multi-joint vertical pushing lift, your primary mover becomes the shoulders while the chest and triceps lend a helping hand. A great example of an effective vertical push is the overhead press. Not only is it great for building massive shoulders, but it does a great deal for building the upper chest, putting mass on the triceps, and increasing your bench press strength. It also helps strengthen the lats through heavy eccentric loading, engages the legs by using them as stabilizers, and of course, increases core strength. This movement, although not the most complicated, is a bit more complex than the bench press. Not just because it's easily butchered, but because your body is in an overall more vulnerable position since you have no support. A few things you want to avoid when shoulder pressing are pressing in front of your body. I call this the standing bench press. Not maintaining a tight core and arching your back way too much, not locking out the lift. This is very common in the overhead press. And too wide of a grip, which leads to flared elbows. Like the bench press and any other big compound exercise, you don't want to start slapping weight on the bar until you've perfected the lift. Trying to lift too much weight on the overhead press is a surefire way to snap some shit up. Poor form on this lift can lead to anything from shoulder damage to straining your lower back or even neck pain. Perform the overhead press with solid form, however, and you'll strengthen your shoulders, lower back and core. Not to mention you'll build massive deltoids, a bigger upper chest, and thicker arms too. Note, if you're not strong enough to handle an empty bar with proper form for the prescribed volume, then starting out with a seated version of this exercise would be best. For the overhead press, grip the bar slightly outside of shoulder width with the bar resting on your clavicle. Stand nice and tall with your hips and knees locked and feet shoulder width apart. Shoulders should be back and down and the core should remain tight. Tilt your head back slightly to avoid knocking yourself out and press the bar up in a straight line. Tuck your head in, lock your arms, and squeeze the shoulders and traps. From there, simply lower the bar in a straight line while tilting your head back. Horizontal pull. Anytime you are pulling a load toward your torso horizontally from straight out in front of you, you are distributing a great deal of stress to all the muscles in your mid-upper back with a bit of assistance from your biceps. There are a number of muscles that make up the mid-upper back: the traps, rhomboids, teres major and minor, erector spinae, and the infraspinatus. Most of which are responsible for one primary movement, retracting the scapula. Anytime you pull or row a weight toward your body horizontally from out in front of you, all of those muscles are firing. When it comes to building a thick, well-developed back, you must row to grow. This is why we are including the bent-over barbell row as part of the Big Four. This is by far the best overall mass builder when it comes to back development. Not only are you building back thickness through loading the function of scapular retraction, but the lats, which are responsible for back width, are getting a good deal of stimulus as well. Not to mention, anytime we are pulling a weight toward our body, be it vertically or horizontally, we are engaging our biceps to a significant degree. Want bigger arms? Pull heavier weight. The main issue I find with this exercise is that most people tend to use more weight than they can actually handle. Jerking back and forth and using a ton of body English in order to get the weight up is a telltale sign that the load is too heavy. If you're moving anything other than your arms, chances are you're not going to maximize the amount of load you are putting on the target muscle. If you let momentum move the weight, you're just decreasing muscle fiber recruitment while increasing risk of injury. Remember, this is an upper body pull, not a full body jerk. Controlling the weight throughout the entire range, even if it means a little less weight on the bar, is not only going to reduce the risk of potentially serious injury, but the amount of tension you're putting on the target muscle will have greatly increased. To summarize, to ensure proper form on the barbell row, grip the bar overhand with arms slightly outside shoulder width. Break at the knees, chest up a bit, and back straight. Then pull, not jerk, the barbell toward your lower chest. Squeeze the back at the top and control the weight on the way down. Once your arms are completely straight, initiate the following repetition. Vertical pull. Whenever we're pulling a weight down from over our head, the largest muscle group of the back, the lats, become the primary target. Vertical pulling is by far the most efficient way to build massive wings. This is mainly due to their function, extension, and adduction of the shoulder. Anytime you are bringing your arm down in front of you or to your side, you are doing so with primarily your lats. For this particular movement, I'll give you a few options, mainly because I'm fully aware that not everyone can perform enough pull-ups to make for an effective workout. If you can, however, perform a good number of pull-ups, it's what I'd recommend. If not, substitute them with their easier to perform, slightly uglier cousin chin-ups. Can't do these either? Start with assisted pull-ups and build your strength from there. This can be done with an assisted pull-up machine, a friend, or pull-up assistance bands. Is it getting too complicated? No worries. Stick to lat pull-downs and address the pull-ups later. If you're willing and able to go the pull-up or chin-up route, progression is quite simple. Use a deep belt and gradually add weight, or simply hold a dumbbell in between your feet or thighs for added resistance. If you're using assistance, progression is also simple. Slowly decrease the level of assistance you're using. Eventually you'll be able to perform them with no help, and from there you can gradually add weight or just use the lat pull-down machine instead. The purpose of vertical pulling is to build bigger lats while of course adding a bit of volume to the upper back and biceps as well. Period. The reason I recommend the pull-up as your first option is because you're moving your body through space. This requires the involvement of stabilizer muscles and does a great deal for building core strength and added benefit. However, because volume is the primary focus, performing a variation where you'll be able to progress is most important. The bottom line, building size and strength doesn't require a barrage of different exercises to hit a muscle from various angles. It only requires that you continue to get better over time with a handful of exercises that challenge each muscle group effectively and efficiently. The more frequently you perform these movements, the better you'll get at them. The more efficient you become at the exercise, the easier it becomes to lift more weight. The more weight you lift, the bigger you'll grow. It's just that simple. Did you find this video helpful? Click the like button below as it'll truly help out the channel. Tell me, what upper body mass builder would you add to this list and why? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you want more science-based videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to the channel and do not forget to turn on post notifications so you never miss another video. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you in the next one.